I'll do a little sync. Okay, lovely. Well, Meghan, you are the co-founder and CEO of Stathletes. Who are your clients?
Really, we have a wide variety of clients, anywhere from the NHL as a league to Stanley Cup winning teams, the best players in the world, some of your favorite players. They actually really want to get better, which to me is, speaks a lot for their drive and forward thinking.
And so what kind of data are you collecting? As you're watching a game, what are you collecting?
So we built software applications to basically track on ice performance. So when there's movement, when there's events, we know what those events are. They're put into a database and then they can be recalled in various ways. So we try to track as much data as possible in terms of hockey.
So you work in the tech world and the hockey world, two very male-dominated areas. I mean, was there resistance at first when you walk in a room, 6 foot, beautiful blonde model? Do people kind of look and go, really?
I mean, I won't lie. I've had a couple meetings where people are like, oh, we're meeting with Stathletes. I think you're in the wrong room. And I've, kind of taken it in stride and not, taken it to heart and saw it as a challenge. I've just sort of pushed through and saw it as like a chip on my shoulder. And I've taken that energy with me to just overcome.
When you look at the hockey world that has always been sort of this old boys club, outsiders not really being let in, how do you feel what you bring to the table with providing a different way of thinking, of looking at the game?
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually even sometimes have people introduce themselves that are ex-hockey players. I'm not in the old boys club, which I always kind of am taken aback by.
They say that to you?
Yes. People talk sometimes about analytics or using data, creating models, making analysis, and what happens on the hockey operations side. They don't realize how big of a field it is in general and how much it really drives.
So they need to get on board or they're going to be just left behind.
I think it's adapt or die at this point, honestly. But I also think that it'll be very good for hockey, and you'll see a lot of fresh new faces and a lot of different perspectives come into the game.
And are you seeing a shift in that at this point from the tech world and from the hockey world?
Yeah, and I think the tech world has been pushing for that for years. So they were far more proactive than the sports world in terms of realizing there was a huge problem, and it was actually hurting the economy to not have more women involved. And I think during COVID, that's been a huge issue, right? Women are more likely to be tasked with, home duties and are getting pulled away from the workforce or having to make tough decisions on their families because, kids aren't in school.
You have been such an advocate on behalf of women. You have over 100,000 Instagram followers. That's a lot of power. How do you use that tool?
I try to be pretty authentic with it. And I think for me, it's about showing that, in the tech industry, not a lot is based on looks. I know Instagram and social media can be pretty thin sometimes in terms of substance, but I try to have a glimpse of my life and what I go through.
Well, we know social media is a double-edged sword. You can use it for good, but there's a lot of hate out there too. How do you deal with people that attack you or just don't want to take you seriously?
I think it's a huge problem in sports media too. I see a lot of women attacked, things that are uncontrollable to their talent. And I think that's very unfair. And it just doesn't go both ways for men. So
outside of your business though, do you ever see yourself taking some sort of a leadership role within an NHL team or a hockey team?
Well, I never say never. I would also say that, I do like, being a leader in my company. I love being an entrepreneur. I get to control the culture and not just say, oh, I'm improving the culture, really define what I mean by that and build out teams that, I'm proud of. So sure, could I run a hockey team? Yes. I mean, I probably manage more people now than a typical NHL GM does. So I'm fluid to that, but I also think that being a tech CEO is one of the coolest jobs in the world, or co-CEO. So I'm pretty biased that I feel like I already have the best job.